Brand new at 6, Outlast Construction has confirmed that 2 roofers they hired through a subcontractor were briefly detained by ICE agents in Duluth this morning.
Yeah, the roofers were working on a home on West Morgan Street in the Duluth Heights neighborhood. Outlast Construction's owner tells us of the 2 people arrested, one was a U.S. citizen and the other had documentation papers with them. The company's owners say that both were returned to the job site within 45 minutes after being detained. Outlast says the workers were through a subcontracting group called Strong Tower Construction Incorporated out of southern Minnesota. Now, coming up tonight at 10 o'clock, Outlast Construction leaders share more about what happened and how they go about vetting their workers.